Hi everyone, it's Kendra Devil, and I am back for another personal video of all these different breadcrumbs that God showed me throughout my life that brought me into the ministry that He has called me to, and just some of my personal stories. As I am a Christian life coach, and I help Christians release past wounds so they can turn their testimony into their ministry and answer God's call. And I help with discipleship within churches and help you with online ministry as God has called me to online ministry. So let me go ahead and get going with this particular personal story. So as some of you may have seen my video about me coming out of retail and to do God's will through the ministry that He had called me to, which has now developed into what it is today. And when God called me, a couple of years later, when I was coming back home, because I had moved and I came back home, at the time, I needed to get into an apartment. And so, of course, you got to show like that you have a certain amount of money. And at the time, the money that I had coming in was sporadic. So it wasn't like I could show like I could actually pay, but I can pay. Come on, like. So when you're in that kind of situation, like you have to get a job, or God's gonna have to say to you, hey, this is exactly how I want you to handle it. Do this, and this. For me, it was going back and doing some part-time work, and so I ended up working, and I was trying to figure out what type of work I needed to do for the time being. Because I knew as I was growing the business and starting the coaching program that I was not going to be able to, one, do it for too long, but also I wanted something to where it would not be a whole bunch of brain power. Like I need something that once I get home, like I need to talk to these different clients as I'm growing this ministry, that I can actually do so without feeling like death and I can't do what God is calling me to do. So I ended up doing house cleaning. And so I signed up with this company to do house cleaning. And at the time, it's like, hold up, like you done gone into ministry and all of a sudden like you're cleaning houses. It's called having to humble yourself to do what you have to do for the moment and not feeling bad about it because you know exactly where it's going to lead you to. Praise God that I only had to do it for 6 months, and then the ministry sustained me throughout all of that time. And so while I was there, I ended up getting promoted a month later, and then doing obviously training and development, there. Ended up getting a whole bunch of houses that people wanted me to come back to their house, and clean their houses and all of that. And then that's when I really got crazy about cleaning, even in my own place. It's like, I need stuff to be clean and clear. Like I can't deal with anything else. But it showed me so much, even spiritually, from just cleaning period, and regular cleans versus deep cleans, and being able to, like, if you do your regular cleans periodically, you don't need all these deep cleans. Deep cleans is when you ain't been doing what you're supposed to do. So just within that whole time frame, like the main pieces of who even I've become today was really like, you need to be able to humble yourself at any given moment, any given situation, that you need to be able to do this or do that or whatever. And it doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't even, like, that would have never been anything that I would have thought that I would do. But it made sense for the moment and what I needed to do as God was calling me. And so I was there for 6 months, and they were just, thankful. I was thankful for the opportunity to just be there and to be able to make the money that I needed at the time. But it definitely humbled me. And, I can get prideful. So it is like throughout my life, of course, like even in high school, for those stories that you may have, listened to, man, I had some for sure pride going into my early 20s, which got me into being an alcoholic. But all those different pieces, it showed me to humble myself. And it's like even more and more, I'm like, all right, God, thank you for allowing me to yield to you so that you can produce what you need to produce in me, so that, again, I can continue to answer the call and do it gracefully and do it in a way that pleases you and that draws people to you. And, I'm not above doing whatever it is, so that the call can continue to be answered. So let me know if there's been times where you've had to transition in the comment section, or you've had to do something that you never thought you would, because it was in a season that it was just necessary, for what God was calling you to do, and it didn't look like what you would think it would. It looked odd, it looked weird, but it was necessary for your growth. And now it has been a help to you in your transitional periods in the future, so that you realize, I recognize this before. I've seen this before, and God is just shifting me in ways that He needs to. So let me know if you have not been shifting like God has. Go ahead and do it, and do your reflections of what God has, brought you from. Because it definitely is an encouragement to see how God has brought you from these different things, and as you are moving into what He's called you to. And go ahead and answer the call today, because tomorrow is too late, way too late to be great.